This world is broken. The science is outdated, the math is incomplete, and the people are so blinded by greed that they cannot see the way forward.
Wait. You're not thinking of intervening, are you?
It has to be corrected. Knowledge is not a commodity. It has been and always will be their future. Standing in the shadows is no longer an option. We have to teach them to share freely without fear of retribution.
There is too much to teach for just one person.
I know. We will have to recruit more people who think the right way. The people who have been shunned by the mainstream. People who have the passion in their heart for the science.
How do we find all of these people then?
We create an open forum to discuss ideas and build ties. We let everyone have a voice, and we never let greed dictate our path.
What do we call it then? Oh, I got it. The Fringe think tank.
The Fringe think tank it is then. Now let's give them back their destiny and open it up to the world.
Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, otherwise known as Old Man Builds, and we got the benefactor here today with us. What's going on, Ben?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
We're getting ready to rock and roll. Hopefully we'll see Gerald early today, and we'll see what's going on with him and see a little bit more about some geometry and stuff like that. But we got some cool stuff going on. Ben's got Michael's experiment going on. Ben, you want to briefly talk about it real quick?
Yeah, so a lot of exciting developments regarding our reverse engineering of First Stop Energy's experiments with the Roden coil. And Michael Morel, a new addition to our team, has recently cracked the Nunez method for our mobile rollout of phase 2 testing. Now, the Nunez method, if you're not aware, is a method that is an open circuit method of maximizing the resonance with your Roden coil. And with this, you're able to achieve 10 times output while maintaining current. And this is extremely useful for anybody trying to save on energy cost, or, if you have some ideas for emergency devices that you can utilize for emergency situations. Imagine jumping your car with a 9-volt battery. It's pretty cool. So we do have a video that he sent me. I'm just going to scrub through it because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, just to make sure everything's kosher. But we are going to be viewing that sometime tonight. I'll let Nathan decide, what the programming is going to be. But in the background, I will be working on that circuit just to make sure because I think I hooked it up wrong. And while we have our regular discussions, I'll be working on that and trying to fix my setup as well.
Okay. Well, I did some work on the Roden coil, and I think probably some people saw it out there. So, Ben, if you want to figure that Michael's video out, hopefully it's pretty good. I'll go ahead and play this one, and
Sure.
We'll get into it right away, and then hopefully Gerald will be here after that. We can get into some geometry and some stuff like that.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to pull it up. For those of you who have already watched it today, I just want to say thank you. And what it is basically we're going to be pulling resonance out of our Roden coil with our Tesla coil, which is just a cool concept in itself. I have a cool experiment going on right now. This is my Tesla coil. It's not grounded, but I have... Sorry, coming in fuzzy. I have a cool experiment going on right now. This is my Tesla coil. It's not grounded, but I have my starter circuit connected to it. Power supply. Got a light on in the background. I have my Roden coil right here. Now, there's nothing on it, nothing connected to it, other than a simple wire. So let's look at the connection. You can see the light bulb above it. I'm just connected to one wire of the Roden coil. See, it goes onto the white wire. The white wire is laying on the ground. I'm going to put it down the center of my Tesla coil. So let me set up the camera here. And what I'm going to look for is I want the light to turn on when I put the wire down the Tesla coil at about 13 volts. What's crazy too, Ben, is it's like 13 to 15 volts when I start it.
That's yeah. So that's a very low power input for something like this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And also I was gonna say, because I know we were having this discussion before we went live. I don't think anybody's done this before, Nathan. I think you're the first to try this.
Yeah, nobody's done it.
So, but I mean, the theory makes sense. So, I mean, it is a resonant circuit and a Tesla coil circuit. So, it makes sense that you'd be able to have this as a pickup without another Roden coil in some fashion. And that's how
Well,
you do
what's
it.
cool is
Nice.
when I pull the wire out, you can still
Mhm.
see it in there. It's still resonating a bit until the energy
Yeah,
dissipates.
because it's a capacitor. It's a giant freaking battery, and you'll see it like kind of. And it's the same with
Now we
when
can
you
see
get
that
a
it did
neodymium
turn on.
sphere synchronized.
Verify
You know, if
things.
you get a synchronized, you'll see the energy kind of dissipate eventually after you turn it off.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So I'll show it, you know what I mean, with no problem with the wire being pulled out of it and everything else. Takes a minute to get my, one guy, I got a light and everything. I'm in the middle of the dark.
Imagine building. That looks what? Oh yeah, that looks sick. So imagine building your house in the form of this Roden coil, the electric grid in the form of a Roden coil like Taurus. That's the idea that First Stop Energies had at some point. They wanted to try to build like a half dome shape Roden coil out of the electrical circuits in your house, so that essentially you wouldn't have to have any outlets. You would just have like the house itself would act as like a Tesla coil in the sense that it would put out energy and devices would just pick it up.
Yeah, Sean says it oscillates the natural frequency, the surrounding air is a capacitor.
So is a Tesla coil able to like input the energy into the Roden coil and allow it to resonate at the natural resonance of the Tesla or of the Roden coil?
Of the Roden coil, yes.
Over the Roden coil, yeah. So it's changing the frequency, but it's allowing it to resonate inside the coil.
Right. So I'll explain the whole thing. Sean and I went over it earlier, and we pretty much agreed on what it was doing. So let me just kind of show the video, and then we'll go over it.
Sure, that sounds awesome. Yeah, this all aligns with everything we already know about the coil. So this is really cool.
Well, it's also a direct connection to what Gerald did in his last video for his coil. So it's going to be awesome when you see the connection. So apparently I just like to look at it funny. Oh, my wire was unconnected. That's what I get. So it's just cool how it stays in there for a little bit. Sometimes a lot, sometimes it's not. So I'm going to turn the volume back on. Sorry. While turning it on, pull the wire out. You can see it dims a little bit, but it'll start to dim until it goes out. That's cool, isn't it? Let's do it again. We'll put the wire down the Tesla coil. Lights up pretty bright, guys. There is no direct connection to this Tesla coil. The wire's just down the center of it. So there you go. You can see the light. There's the wire. I just got it hanging down the center. That's it. Bright as can be. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So let me give it a little more juice. Let me see what I can get out of this. So 24 volts now. It still lights up. Matter of fact, it's probably lighting up worse. there we go. Now it's doing good. But we still haven't hit the other ones behind it. There's light bulbs. They haven't lit up. Let's take a look at this. What happens to this right here? Sorry, I'm getting over the wire right there. Now you can see it really cooking, right? Watch. It's like a tornado. Hit the side. You got it right there. You can tell that you're messing with the whole inductance of all of it right there. Is that not cool or what? All right. I know it's just me goofing around playing with this. Let's give it a little more voltage. And let's go ahead and see if we can't get any more light to light. We're going to go up to 30. We're at 30 volts now. No, light's the same. Here is what we're getting when we put it down the Tesla coil now. We're starting to get a little more breakout.
That is so cool.
You can see it right there.
It's like a 3D hologram. It's so neat.
By the way, just a quick note. When you shove the wire all the way down to the bottom, zero breakout from the wire. It's putting it through the rest of the way. So I stuck a rod down it, no breakout whatsoever because there's no sharp edges. So the rod's completely smooth when you do it. So it won't give you energy loss in that area when you start doing this.
Oh, so it's the imperfection, the energy loss that creates the spark?
Yeah. It's what's energy being used, so it's lost.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, because it is that Bedini always said the spark gap is a loss, right? Or is that Tom Bearden? I forget.
No,
one of them was saying that
the spark gap is a gain, not a loss. Using energy just like this is a loss. So
you're talking about in this form. But it's destroying the dipole, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's destroying the dipole. It's just basically, I don't want to say it. It's pulling the energy out of plasma instead of just leaving it alone. You know what I mean? So, real quick, okay. So I'll just let everybody know it does not light up any other light bulbs outside the coil. So Ben, can you tell me why it only lights up the coil right there?
Oh, you're talking about the vicinity of action of lighting up that light? Yeah, you have to lay it right on top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the strong electromagnetic field is condensed in the center.
So there you go. There's proof of it right there. Light bulbs real close to it will not light from the outside.
And I think any Roden coil that actually has that ability, because I think some of them do, it's just expanding that condensed field past, that limit.
So check this out. I'm going to just talk to you for I'll remove this. We're using a Slayer exciter circuit. So the only thing you have is a 47K ohm resistor. Okay. I don't have any capacitors connected to it. I have a transistor, which is a PNP transistor that allows me to run this thing all day long at 40 volts, guys. It's amazing. And then I have a fan connected to it just so I can cool down my transistor. Those are the parts and the power supply. So what Sean and I were talking about is, you know how that you have your transistor and then it pushes in and it allows that circuit to flow. So it's basically a beat rate, or it's a oscillation rate as you push that in. So what happens when the power is, I want to say this, when you pull the wire out and the power is no longer going to it and it self-oscillates. So what's going on? Well, we're still getting the transistor effect to it. It still has resonance in the coil. Therefore, the transistor can still self-oscillate.
And it's resonating that load with it too, right?
It still picks up that resonance frequency. So what's going on in the coil is it's still resonating back and forth because it's in the perfect harmony of resonance. Sean said, put your oscilloscope right next to it and pull the number. That's the perfect resonance frequency of that coil.
Yeah, I think if we were able to slow down the frequency of the Roden coil, we could actually see the flickering of the light is at the same rate.
Yeah. So it's a really cool concept, right? So can we find it in other things? So I want to show you this. Okay. So now I haven't released this video yet. I'm going to take a bifilar coil. I'm going to do the same thing. See if I couldn't find resonance in my bifilar coil. There it is right there. I got a 12-inch bifilar coil, and I only have it connected to one side, and that goes to this white wire. This white wire, as you can see, is just right there. It's hanging off. I'm going to move this over to my Tesla coil. Sorry, I'm getting tangled in the wire. Now, all I'm going to do is turn this on. I'm going to move this light over here. Get set up. And then I'm going to put the wire down the Tesla coil. Right now, about 17 volts. As we can see, the Tesla coil is running. Light's not on. Here's our wire. Place it down the Tesla coil. And there we go. Okay. So now, remove the wire. Still has resonance in it. It's dying off. You can see it getting smaller. Yeah, there we go again. We'll do it again. Wires down the Tesla coil. Lights on. Wires out of the Tesla coil. Light's still on. It's going down. The winding is exactly the same inside and out on that bifilar coil. It's no different than the Roden coil. Now it goes out. Okay. Again, we're on. Wires out. Still resonating, went down. Okay. So we're getting resonance in it. Let's see if we can get a distance now. So I'm going to ruin the surprise here. The answer was no. We still don't get a breakout distance. However, doesn't mean I'm going to give up. I got plenty of toys here in the garage. So let's try another one. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up.
Okie dokie.
Okay, here we go. I'm looking for this one. This is my Tesla coil, and it's connected right here from the number 2 winding right here to this little white wire. This little white wire, you can see, it's just an empty end. I have right here my other Tesla coil. It's running on a Slayer exciter at 22 volts. And I'm going to see if I can't light up the light bulb next to my other Tesla coil just by putting this wire down the center. Here we go. And there it is. Right down the center of the coil. right there lighting it up. This is my Tesla coil, and and there it is, right down the center of the coil. By the way, just so you know, I touched the bottom here with the wire. There's no breakout. I eliminated the breakout by putting the sharp end all the way through the bottom so that we no longer get a breakout, but I'm still getting the energy through the wire because the wire is a cheap wire. So it'll go right through it, but there's no breakout. So I eliminated the energy loss right there. So absolutely amazing concept. I always tell you that you get energy when you put the wire down the Tesla coil. So here's the next step to this process. We want to use the earth as a capacitor now. So we'll stick a rod in one Tesla coil, and we'll put the rod right into the ground, okay? Right into the little swampy area that's underneath my ground in my front yard. Then we'll go over and put another Tesla coil with the rod in the ground, okay? Right? Again, little swampy area. I have a French drain right there. It does the whole front yard, a whole 20 by 20 foot patch. And then we're just going to see if it connects through water and the ground as a capacitor from one Tesla coil to the next. That's my next experiment in this process. Since we know that we can light it up from one to the next with a semi-direct connection just by putting the wire down the Tesla coil, now we want to use the ground as a capacitor. What Sean's saying is on the Roden coil, it's using the air as the capacitance. So it's able to oscillate between the frequency of it and the air itself. So the best way to prove it is to go in the reverse of it, which is putting the rod in the ground. Guys, this goes back to the Tesla's Colorado experiment. Exactly what he was doing, exactly what he was working on. As far as YouTube, I have never seen anyone do this type of experiment before at all. And I've watched a lot of Tesla coil videos. So it's just another part to the coil we have to learn, and that's what I think is so amazing about it. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah. Kind of worked hard today, man.
Yeah, I've seen probably more Roden coil videos than anybody, and I don't think anybody's done that experiment with it.
Okay, yeah, I'll show the first experiment a little bit so we can see it again, Sean. Proves you don't need wires. Well, let me just explain this. You don't necessarily need the wires on the outside, so it's going to be hot energy. Just so you know, that Roden coil was cold. There was no heat going into it whatsoever. Once you killed that breakout, zero heat going into the system. It pulled as cold energy. So that's what's amazing about it. But the direct connection with Gerald's is that transistor. The self-oscillation of a Slayer exciter circuit will continue to resonate at the same frequency of the coil itself. So when you take it over to the Roden coil or something else, that's why you would use a Joule Thief circuit in order to get the same thing. Again, if you're having it rerun the circuit based on the energy coming out of the coil, and it runs it just slightly a bit lower, we're seeing a direct comparison right here to the Roden coil when I do it. So let me go ahead and pull that one right again. I have a cool experiment going on right now. This is my Tesla coil. It's not ground. I have a cool experiment going on right now. This is my Tesla coil. It's not grounded, but I have my Slayer exciter circuit connected to it. Power supply. Got a light on in the background. I have my Roden coil right here. Now, there's nothing on it, nothing connected to it, other than a simple wire. So let's look at the connection. You can see the light bulb above it. I'm just connected to one wire of the Roden coil. It goes onto the white wire. The white wire is laying on the ground. I'm going to put it down the center of my Tesla coil. So we set up the camera here. And what I'm going to look for is I want the light to turn on when I put the wire down the Tesla coil at about 13 volts. A little bit of awesome in itself, but this is what you want to see right here. Now I'm going to put it down there again. Sorry, I think my wire detached right here. Oh, we're going to do it again. The wire's in. We now have the coil turning it on. Pull the wire out. You can see it dims a little bit, but it'll start to dim until it goes out. That's cool, isn't it? Let's do it again. We'll put the wire down the Tesla coil. Lights up pretty bright, guys. There is no direct connection to this Tesla coil. The wire's just down the center of it. So, there you go. You can see the light. There's the wire. I just got it hanging down the center. That's it. Bright as can be. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So, let me give it a little more juice. Let me see what I can get out of this. So, 24 volts now. It still lights up. Matter of fact, it's probably lighting up worse. Oh, there we go. Now it's doing good. But we still haven't hit the other ones behind it. There's light bulbs. They haven't lit up. Let's take a look at this. What happens to this right here? Sorry, I'm getting over the wire right there. Now you can see it really cooking, right? Watch. Hit the side. You got it right there. Is that not cool or what? All right. I know it's just me goofing around playing with this. Let's give it a little more voltage. And let's go ahead and see if we can't get any more light to light. We're going to go up to 30. We're at 30 volts now. No, light's the same. Here is what we're getting when we put it down the Tesla coil now. We're starting to get a little more breakout. You can see it right there. Again, that is not connected to anything. It's just a wire inside my Tesla coil. And we're getting arcing. We're getting a secondary right there. God, I torture this stuff. Okay. Our light is still on, by the way. There's our wire. There's the end of it. And our light bulb is still on. So, okay, how many people have ever seen that? You just, well, number one, I'm not even going to connect it to my Tesla coil. I'm just going to put the wire down the center of it. Then, number two, when I pull it out, my light's still on. That's just out of this world, man. That's just so cool. So, but that's what I do in my spare time, guys. I start messing with this stuff like here and experiment all different ways. And it turns out I got a good reaction out of this one. So, yeah, it's really awesome, guys. So I'll play a little bit more. That tells you something right there. We're dealing with some resonance in here, okay? Now, I don't know how much distance I need, so let me move this over a little bit. So one other thing, guys, for as hard as I tried, I could not get any outside light up on anything next to the Roden coil. It had to be over the vortex, over that center hole. And if it wasn't over that, didn't light up. So if it was just placed around it or anything, didn't work. So just so we all understand, that Roden coil does what it says it's going to do in the vortexes. So pretty awesome. And we had a question about a magnet in there. I did try the magnet, but like it was also said, there wasn't enough amps in it. It's high frequency, high voltage, not a lot of amps, so we wouldn't be able to turn that magnet at all, and it didn't. So kind of just one of those things, I guess, but it's just cool to know that you can pull the energy out of a Tesla coil that way. Bit different. No, I never hooked it directly up to it. I just didn't see the need. It kind of went along with the experiments that I wanted to do and being able to pull the energy out of the center. And like I said, if you put the rod all the way down there or put the wire all the way down to the bottom, there's no more breakout. There's no more waste of energy there. Now, if this is the cool thing, if I take the coil and pull it out of resonance, so right now I have a little clip on it that basically puts it in perfect oscillation. If I take it out of that and I go ahead and move it up, what'll start to happen here is it'll want to go back to the correct oscillation. So if I connect that wire to that coil, it's going to take that coil as extra winding to the Tesla coil when it's out of resonance. Not when it's in resonance, it starts to stay there. But when it's out of resonance, you'll see it a lot more drastically. It'll bring the frequency of the Tesla coil down. That's the coolest part. So you may be wanting to oscillate it on the number one coil, say around 500 or 600 kilohertz, but your number two coil is 300 kilohertz. So in order to match them, you attach a weight or anything metal to it, put it on the wire, and then put it down the throat, just like the Roden coil would be. Then you'll get it back. And the cool thing is, depending on how much you put the wire down there, it's how much you can get it to change. So it'll be within like 10 kilohertz is the difference in there between having the wire all the way down and a little bit out, which gives you a great play to have in there. But it'll actually bring you back to a resonance. So one of the coolest things ever. So the distance that you put the rod inside the Tesla coil makes a huge difference. So guys, there's a whole lot more to go with this. And hopefully in the next week or so, I can put out some more videos on this, do some outside testing for you guys, put it on there. I'll put the oscilloscope next to the Roden coil while doing the experiment again, and we'll find out the natural resonance frequency of that coil. I'll do the same for my Bifilar. And I think that's where we're going to go from there. I already know the frequency of the other Tesla coil. It's 40 kilohertz off of the one I was using. So I might be able to pull that one into direct resonance with my other one and get two interacting together. So anyway, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool experiment.
Look at the rich guy, huh? Well, that's not me. And I remember the days when I flipped burgers. No, guys, I'm just an old guy in retirement playing in my garage with a couple of toys that I built over, what did it take me, about a year and a half to get everything built? So, yeah, unfortunately, not the rich guy. Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't talk politics on here. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Now we're getting people to understand it. We're going to be communicating with the ether inside this thing. That's what makes it special when you put the wire down it. The bigger the coil, the diameter. We're about 4-inch diameter. I think Gerald has about 3.5 inches in the diameter of his coil. I know Ben and I both have these. This is the coil here. So we're right around 4 inches, 4.5, maybe even close to 5, I guess, but probably 4.5 with the wire in it. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So the next thing is when I get the Roden coil running now, I'm going to try putting the wire down the center and see if I can't light my Tesla coil at that point. That'd be pretty cool as well. So we'll go bouncing back and forth on these experiments. Hey, Ben, did you find that video? You all good to go?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to, because I went over the items list, and I have a 2K ohm resistor, but it's a standard quarter watt resistor. It's not the 2-watt resistor that Michael recommends. So I'm trying to figure out what the equivalent is that I could use with the quarter watt to maintain around the same. But yes, I do have the video. I'm going to bring it up in just one moment. Let's see.
No word from Gerald yet. I haven't seen him yet. It hasn't popped in yet. I hope everything's okay. And hopefully he's just going to pop in here in a little bit and just let us know what happened. Let's see. Have you guys tried?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah, I hope he's okay. Usually he's here by now.
Yeah. Let's see. Have you guys tried passing magic through the center of the Roden coil to see what kind of power you can pull out of it? That'd be more for Ben. I put the magnet in mine and I didn't have a whole lot of amps in it, so there's no turning and no big effects to it.
Yeah, so you have to really tune the coil to be able to spin a rotary, and then you can really start to generate some electricity, whether it's through the induction of the magnet spinning or through like a generator, like if you have a motor or something. But yes, it does. That's all free energy off of the system. It doesn't usually affect the input when you have it in resonance.
Oh, so he says no power to the coil. He's basically saying, can you jerk the magnet fast enough in order to get it to get enough power in there to put any power output?
So that's an interesting question. There are some theories that the coil can work with no input power in conjunction with like a plate in the form of like sacred geometry. There's some theories that, these plates that you lay on underneath the Roden coil, you'll see them in some of the Organites channels, crafts. He does Roden coils, but they're like basically little conductor plates, and the conductor is in the shape of sacred geometry. And supposedly it's able to amplify natural, energy in the environment. And the coil itself, obviously we've seen it amplifies energy extremely in large amounts, or it has the ability to. So that's the theory. I haven't seen anybody who's able to power it without any input. But there are experiments that First Stop Energies did, and this isn't with no power, but when you have even a small tiny amount of power input going into the coil, and I don't recommend this at all, and neither does First Stop Energies, but you can actually grab one of the leads and your body energy will feed into that and actually amplify it with your natural your natural body energy coming off. So that's an interesting effect that hasn't really been explored too much, but it's basically a resonant circuit. So it's going to take whatever comes into it and resonate it within that cavity and amplify it.
Okay, Ben, I got something for you then. Hold on. Let me pull this up. I got a way to run it, and I just have to see what kind of frame I have to put around it. Hey everyone, today I'm going to see. So if I took this device here with these two little motors on there, and these magnets are neodymium magnets, neodymium 52s, and they are 2 inches long. They're 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So you can see it, this right here rotating. Put that in the center of that Roden coil. Get it to fire up. It goes about 7,800 RPM. I bet you we can pull power out of the Roden coil like a generator.
Yeah, that's a good rotary right there. It's hard to find those. Did you make that yourself?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, see, I was trying to find one that I could use, and as long as you get the electromagnet strong enough, like you got enough power input into it to form that strong electromagnet from the coil, yeah, you're gonna be able to spin that bad boy. There are many videos on First Stop Energy's Instagram where you can see almost the same kind of setup, and there is a heavy coil version specifically that's made for spinning rotaries like this, and believe it or not, they were testing their coils with the ones without the interference pattern, and it seemed like they might be. I don't know. He didn't really explain in his descriptions of the video, but it seemed like they might be doing a little better. But we'll be able to test all that. That's going to be fun.
Well, that's what I mean. It's fast. It's rotating, right? 7,800 RPM. So that's the voltage, 3.22, but you can see it's a very small thing. So Roden coil is quite big. The question I would have is the inside, going to be a lot more than the outside when we pull the energy?
I would assume so. These I think you would have to be careful with the placement, but as soon as you get the placement right, essentially with the video that I'm going to show you, with the circuit that we're going to show you in a minute, the modified Joule Thief with your Roden coil, you could essentially power this rotary with a 12-volt battery and put in, over 100 volts into it while maintaining the current that's coming out of that battery. And you could power this rotary and basically run a scooter or transportation off of a 9-volt battery, which is insane. I don't know how long it's going to last, but introduce a Bedini schoolgirl circuit where it's charging a battery at the same time, and then you kind of got something. You can kind of see where I'm going with this, where phase 3 testing is going to be really fun.
Right on.
Yeah, this is okay. So when you're done with this video, let me know. I'll load the video.
Go ahead.
Get into the circuit. Okay, yeah, this is some really cool stuff. Major shout out to Michael Morell, and we are going to be doing a pre-recorded session with Michael. He's going to walk us through everything that he's been working on Saturday. So I hope that you guys all join us for that. It's either going to be Saturday night or Sunday.
Right on.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, so just a disclaimer here. All of this stuff on my channel and that Michael specifically is giving us is for entertainment and information purposes only. We are not liable for any damages or loss or any any harm that you might accrue to yourself. So this is open source information, but take it with a grain of salt. We're not responsible if you do something stupid. Please know what you're doing.
Don't be like me.
Okay, so this is the original diagram from First Stop Energies. Specifically, their modified Joule thief for the Roden coil that they were using to rectify RF signals and turn it into, small amounts of free energy. So
Right.
what Michael did was take this and he just tried it out, and it worked for him, and it was insane. And we'll see that next week. We'll have a video of him showing us, him putting 14 volts in and 0.300 amps, and the amperage is maintained on the output, and it's got 140 volts. So it's pretty cool.
Right on. Okay.
So the most important part right here that I would recommend, or the two most important parts, is the transistor and the potentiometer. Now he's using a carbon-based potentiometer, and he recommends carbon-based. I forget what the reason was, but it's something to do with the frequencies and the voltage that's going through the system. I guess it like burns out the other type of potentiometer. I'm not really sure, but this is a 1 mega ohm, 2 watt potentiometer right here, carbon based.
Okay.
That's just your standard 90 volt neon. And this is the resistor that I don't have. This is a 1K resistor, but it's a 2 watt. So I'm going to use the one that I have. It's probably going to burn up, but hopefully we get some kind of, effect. And then you can see the transistors in MJL2119 for, I have the G version. I don't know. Did it say? Yeah. So, I got the G version, and from what I understand, the G version of this transistor is just like more quality to it, like a higher standard or something for their manufacturing process. Oh, I'm not going to play the whole thing. We'll fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
But I will make this video available on our channels. So
right on. Everybody likes this, man. You should show it on Wednesday. Everybody likes the build videos.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good idea. Maybe I'll go through the build again and build another one, with everybody. But yeah, I'll definitely show it again. I think it's important that people understand that it's not really hard to achieve these effects if you know what you're looking for and you know what you're doing. And Michael certainly knows what he's doing.
Well, that's kind of the thing, right? We're all just looking for the pulse in there in order to get it to resonate properly. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here's one of the mistakes that I actually made. I was using the inner and one outer of the potentiometer, and he's actually shorting the inner potentiometer lead with one of the outer ones. So that's the mistake that I just corrected a minute ago while you were talking with my solder iron. So, we got that all set. After this, I might put one together real quick and see what we get.
Okay.
Okay, so right now he's testing the potentiometer. That's what I'm going to get ready to do in a minute. He's clipping it to either end and then putting it on the ohm setting to test the resistance and make sure it's working, because if we're dealing with high voltage outputs like this, potentially, it could fry your component. So you want to test it, make sure. And this is something that he emphasized to me. I'm a newbie too.
When you say high voltage, how many volts are you looking at?
So with this method, you can potentially, and what he was getting was 10 times voltage output while maintaining the current. So, I mean, that's a pretty big step up. If you're putting in only 14 volts, you're getting out 140 volts. If you're not prepared for that, you're going to start frying it and finding out. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not that. I just want to ask because, you know what I mean? When you say high voltage, people are thinking 10,000 volts or more.
Oh, yeah. There is kind of like a subjective thing going on there with HV, but when I say high voltage, I'm just talking about, when we're utilizing the open circuit method. So in regards to the input, it's high.
Okay. I can't use those little boards, man. They drive me nuts.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to replace them myself because I've kind of reached my limit to what I can do with them, honestly.
Let's see. I tried to find Gerald's channel, failed. You know what? I'll pull up Gerald's channel for you right now, so you have it. And there you go in the chat. I went ahead and dropped Gerald's channel in the chat. So, okay. Yeah, you don't need all 3 leads in the pot. By the way, for those of you who do not know, a 10K pot or potentiometer can be placed in place of a 10K resistor so that you can adjust the potentiometer and find out exactly how much resistance you'll need in the circuit. And it's a fast way to find out, so then you can pull the correct one and put it in right away.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did for this. Once he found the correct frequency, because he fried out his first potentiometer. I guess maybe he didn't have that resistor. But yeah, once he found that correct frequency, he's like, okay, so I need this. He calculated I need this amount of resistance and just replaced it with a bunch of resistors. And it, it just works better. And then you'll see at the end, he does put a diode. It's not required, but it does help you, I guess, maintain the current a little bit better or something. You'll see the current kind of adjusts. Maybe it makes it a smoother signal. I'm not really sure. It's a good question for when I have an interview with him.
What on the? Say that one thing again.
So he puts at the end, he doesn't require it for the circuit, but he puts a diode, right? So the neon is right at the base and collector, and then after the diode, he'll place at the end, and it's not required, but you'll see it like it brings down the current slightly. So I'm not sure if that's smoothing out the signal or maybe
he's bleeding off his circuit.
Oh, what exactly does that do?
So if you have a too high of a pulse going through a circuit, you need a bleeder. So you need something that'll pull energy out and run like a little LED or something. And it'll actually smooth out your circuit because you won't get energy spikes.
So it does. Okay, so it is a way of like smoothing it out, like you'd put a capacitor in. Okay, that makes sense. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around some of these techniques, but it seems very simple, guys. Like I don't think you guys are gonna have trouble. Like Nathan, if you wanted to try this, I don't think you probably do this in your sleep. I would recommend it. No.
Well, you never know. Without the breadboard.
It's like I sleepwalk, but I make circuits in my sleep. I don't know, guys. I woke up and I got this thing.
Oh, man, with the stuff I have in my garage, man, that would be horrifying. I'd be lighting up flybacks across every part of my garage and I'd go back to sleep.
It's been a really fun project because once you've got the coil, then you can start to do some really fun things with it,
Yeah. Well, I was going to do that today, Ben, and I decided to play with my Tesla coil a little bit because the thing wouldn't leave my brain after Gerald showed that how he self-oscillated the circuit, so I had to kind of match him a little bit and do the same.
Yeah, when you're away from your work for too long, at least from my perspective, I get antsy, I when I get the idle hands, I start to get antsy and I start to want to do something. It's been unfortunate that I've been having a huge wall in my research, but I think hopefully this is actually one of the reasons why he put together this video is for me, because I wanted to make sure I was putting it together right, and I don't think I was. So I think I way too much overcomplicated this.
Yeah, I have no idea how this is, what even they're talking about here in the chat.
Yeah, I actually haven't checked the chat in a couple minutes. Let's see.
Hold on.
Rock resistor?
You make homemade rock resistors. My wife has one of those. She throws it at my head when I do something wrong.
It's got punishment written on it.
Oh.
So this is actually this I can see right off the bat here too as well, that I made a mistake. So when he was describing this, I misunderstood him and I was taking the circuit to be this side was upside down to me. So the start was at the bottom of channel B and the start or the end was at the top. On the diagram that I was interpreting, I interpreted this backwards. So another mistake that I made. So we're going to have to correct that tonight and see what happens.
Okay.
Again,
hold on.
you know, it's not bad that I'm making mistakes because I'm learning.
That's good. What does this comment mean, Ben? Hey, Nathan, can you settle an argument in Wales? It's R2D a what's that word, Ben?
Vaporizer?
Vaporizer. No. It's a
With
cooler.
R2D.
If you're talking about my R2D2 behind me, it's a cooler.
Oh, the R2D2, yeah.
Yeah, you just throw soda pops in there. It's kind of a remnants of the day when I used to work for Big Blue or Pepsi, and we had that whole promotion going on with Star Wars. So the wife and I worked there. So yeah, it was kind of that thing going on.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pepsi. You all know me. I love my cherry Pepsi.
Well, I worked for the other company too, so.
Oh, Coke?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to really enjoy Coke, but now I'm kind of more on Pepsi. But honestly, I guess you get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
I guess. Yeah. Hold on. Now they got rock resistors. I'm missing something. Okay.
Yeah,
what
what's
is a
going
rock
on?
resistor?
I have no idea.
It's a brain fart.
Is that?
I think we're missing out on something, Ben.
Yeah, the rock's a part of some kind of resistance or something.
Mineral resistor. Well, that would make more sense. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Not part of the resistance.
Okay, so hey guys, a third mistake appears. So Nathan, the front of the transistor, I'm asking you just because I want to make sure. The front of the transistor is usually the part that has the lettering on it, right? And not the back plate where the heatsink goes.
Yeah, the front part's with the lettering.
I had it backwards, so that's another mistake.
How do you put that backwards, Ben?
I don't know, Nathan. It's just a simple, stupid mistake, but we're correcting it now. So I'm double checking everything.
Well, they put the metal on the resistor on the back, so you know that, you know what I mean? You hook it to a heatsink.
I know, and I must have in my mind, I must have gotten it backwards and thought that the part with the heatsink was the front for some reason. I don't know. But we have it corrected now, so that's the important part.
Also, Ben, if you put a heatsink on it, put some thermal paste behind it, and it'll do the same thing as it does on your CPU when you install the fan.
Yeah, I looked for my thermal compound, but I couldn't find it. I have some somewhere. I would like to do that.
Oh man, yeah, it looks like a fairly simple circuit, Ben.
Yeah, and for context for people who haven't built a coil yet, these two channels are in the same coil. So essentially, with the Roden coil and the PoE Vortex coil designed by First Stop Energies, you end up with two channels, and that's basically like two coils wound into one, and 1-to-1 symmetrical coil. So it's not that confusing if you know exactly what the diagram means. And look, this is cool. See, So his is beautiful. It's nice gold, and he's got these like nice little pickup. I don't know if you can see that. They're like pickups wound around the side of
Oh, I
the
see them.
donut. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's
Kind of makes like
exactly
a
the
spider web in the center.
yeah, and that's kind of like a pickup method that the scientific paper that was produced on the efficiency of the Roden coil that I shared with everybody on my Patreon. That's the method that they use to pick up the energy, and they, I mean, not counting the input power required to generate the signal, the function or whatever, the wave form. They were getting at least 100% efficiency, if not slightly more. Yeah, so you'll end up with 2 channels, 2 leads each channel, a start and end for each channel. And honestly, the start and end, it's arbitrary. It really depends on, which side you're working on, if you have it flipped upside down or whatever, but just make sure it's in relation to the other wires the same. Like if you have one side the start, don't, make the other side for channel B the start.
Well, yeah.
Mm.
That seemed pretty simple.
Yeah,
One's in,
I like
one's
to go
out.
basics because these things can get very confusing when you have multiple channels, and that's why I kind of recommend, like, he has there the same thing that I kind of went with, which is different colors of insulation. So I use like a heat sink gun or heat shrink gun or whatever, and you just make the colors different so you can kind of differentiate all the different ends easier, and it's not so confusing. But yeah, it does get confused, especially if you have more than 2 channels. Like Gerald has 3. 3 is going to be interesting when I start to do that. We're going to have to definitely get some different colors for insulation. Be creative with it.
Yeah, well, it should be pretty easy.
Yeah, and just a general rule of thumb, I like to keep all of my grounds or negatives as a similar color palette, and then all of my positives is similar. So like if I'm, I'm going to be using usually in my builds red for positive and orange for positive, and black and white for negative or ground, and green for ground, stuff like that. And if I keep it generally like that in those palettes, even if I forget, I can kind of harken back and be like, okay, this is most likely a negative.
Nice.
Just by eyeballing the color. Yeah, the color really does help keeping track of everything, honestly. At least in my mind, because I'm so disorganized sometimes.
All right, Ben, is he going to fire this thing up here soon?
Yeah, so there's just one more part I wanted to show you before we show you the end. And this is the method. One of the most important parts is you're using an open circuit method for this coil right now. So what you're doing is you're taking the start of channel A and the finish of channel B, and you're connecting them. You're basically shorting them. And that's an important part that helps maximize the resonance available in the cavity.
So hold on, you're not exactly shorting them, are you? You're taking you're just connecting them together.
Yeah, I guess. Basically, you're connecting them together. So
you're continuing coil 1 into coil 2.
Right. What I mean by shorting is you're not having a separate circuit anymore for channel A and channel B. You're kind of putting them together. So as you can see, like
shorting them out would be like, hey, I'm putting this to ground, or something like that would short the circuit. You're not shorting the circuit, you're adding coil 1 to coil 2 by doing what he just did.
Right, but the idea is to connect the start to the finish of either channel, so they're connected and not just like relying on inductance. And that's yeah, and maybe that's not the best term, but that's just the idea that I wanted to relay. So let's fast forward that a little bit.
Yep, Sean got it. You're making one long wire.
Yeah, you're maximizing the resonance in the cavity. that the cavity, you're maximizing the amount that you can resonate in that cavity. So you're literally changing its resonance frequency at that point.
You want to pause it real quick, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Microwave transformers. For anybody out there that wants to touch these things, keep your hands away from them. Do not touch these things. Do not get near them. Put a bucket over top. Make sure you pull the handle off the bucket. Okay? Keep away from these things. That is the number one thing that gets people hurt or injured when it comes to voltages is the microwave transformers. There's a lot of people that just start out and think these things are okay. Absolutely not. This is not okay to touch. There's amps and volts in there, and it absolutely will take you out. So when you say be careful, every precaution necessary and keep your hands away from it.
Yeah,
sorry, Ben,
that's every time I see one of those videos of people messing with the microwaves, it makes me cringe. Like I saw this one TikTok short where somebody literally stuck something in the microwave slot so it would start without the door closing, and it was starting and the door was open. They're right next to it. I'm like, are you effing stupid?
Yes, they are.
It's what we call a Darwin Award.
Well, I learned a neat trick. Take an old cell phone, right? Take a drill bit and cut a hole in the center of the back of the microwave. Then you take your cell phone and attach it to the back of the microwave. You could use double-sided tape or just duct tape, doesn't matter, and put the camera directly in that hole. You'll be able to capture everything inside the microwave as it does whatever you're looking for it to do. So anyway, but it'll also keep the, because it's a flat surface in there, it'll either destroy it or it'll keep in the microwaves, but they won't come out. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Let me skip forward just a little bit. Okay, here we go. I think he's getting ready to start it up now. You can see the diode isn't there yet. He hasn't put it in. He puts it at the very end.
That one right there, that light?
Yeah, so the diode's going to go right in front of the light.
Okay.
Where's the... Oh, there we go. Okay. So he's got 12 volts, 0.037 amps. And the neon light is lighting up. So again, this is a 90-volt neon. There's no way that 12 volts is supposed to light this little neon, right? And you can see he's adjusting it so that's not in resonance. And now it, when it flashes, it is. So... And you can hear it too. Very, very cool stuff. Simplest circuit I've ever seen for some of this, And he had in his video, and I'll show it next week, he had 130 LEDs hooked up to this thing with only like 14 volts and a 40-watt bulb. And the bulb was running for like hours, and he put his hand on it, and it didn't hurt him. It wasn't hot. It's not traditional energy. And look at that. It's like a huge spike. It's not on the inverse though, which is interesting. It's a positive spike. It looks like, I think. Yeah.
He's just got a positive spike. Yeah.
So cool.
Well, hold on. Pause it. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is why it's important, Ben, to get the right terminology. He made one big wire out of it. So he basically took channel A and channel B and made it all into channel A. So that's why you only get the spike on the positive side and not on the negative side, because there is no more negative side because he used it all in one channel. So
right, that makes sense.
You'll get a, I don't want to say a shadow B side. where it's very, very short in depth, as you see here on a scale or on a,
Yeah.
on a oscope. But you're going to get a heavy spike on the other side because that's where all the energy is.
And I believe he was, because originally he told me that his resonance was around 2.6. So I think he made a mistake, and I was looking for the wrong range as well, because I'm using the same exact coil frame as him, same number of wire and all that. So we should be around the same resonance range. I think he should be using the same gauge of wire as well. I need to double check with him on that. But if it's a different gauge, obviously it's going to be slightly different. But yeah, 3.6 kilohertz. And I was looking for some kind of resonance around 2. So I was in the wrong range. And that's interesting because when he adds the diode right here, you can see that it goes from 34 to like 28 milliamps.
Oh, hold on. Do you know why you put the diode right there? That looks like a reverse voltage diode. And you'll see the same thing. You'll see the same thing in a Slayer exciter circuit. So that it never goes back on itself and explodes your transistor.
Oh, okay. So you don't have that. Would that be considered back EMF then at that point?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense then.
So yeah, it won't overvolt your transistor because what happens is the voltage goes 100% back into your transistor. And how do I say this? You're trying to connect two ends of it, right? But you got an end right here. So it's connecting here. You want it to connect here, okay? And not blow this out. So you put that diode in there so that it always firmly flows. And it basically means it won't hold anything back and blow up your transistor. So it's just an easier way to do it. And that way, you know, like I said, I call it reverse voltage. You can call it negative voltage, back EMF, however you want to describe it. It just blows out your MOSFET quick if you don't put it in there.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, I would like to know, Sean, since you're in the chat, Slayer Exciter versus Jewel Thief, and what your opinion on that is when we do the Wednesday show. Because he says it's kind of like a Slayer Exciter, the Jewel Thief. So I'd be interested to know what he thought about the differences in the two, and it might just be a resistor or something like that. Anyway, you still there, Ben?
No. You've lost me completely, sir. I've drifted into oblivion. No, so I've been zoning out a little bit because I've been trying to put together the circuit, but I've been listening too. So
no, go ahead. I just want to know if that was the end of the video.
Yeah, so that's all I got for you in terms of that and updates on that. Right now, I'm going to try to put together this and see if I can get it together before the end of the stream and see if I can get something on live stream for you guys to check out. So We're going to be working on that. I don't know if you have anything else, Nathan, planned for the rest of the show, or
yeah, I'm just going to send Gerald an email right now. Hopefully his computer's good.
Sean said he could share some new stuff on Wednesday. Nice.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. He had some stuff on his ZVS Tesla coil, and then we're going to talk about the LCR meter, which is really cool because it finds the resonance frequency of the number one coil of your Tesla coil like immediately, so that all you have to do is put in the correct capacitor, and this thing is oscillating beautifully. So, dude, I can't tell you how many headaches I've had putting that little clip everywhere. So I was telling Sean I found a redneck method to do it. Okay. I have a store-bought ZVS. And what happens is you'll blow out one of the transistors before you blow out the second one. So when you take the wire off and you put it just against the coil there of the number one coil and move it a little bit, it causes heat. So it'll go to the first transistor, and when it's not working, it'll allow the heat to stay in there while the other one is still oscillating the circuit. So the redneck method is simple. You put the wire on the number 1 coil and just simply move it until you find resonance on your O-scope and go around the whole coil, whatever you got to do. It's the redneck method of finding the correct resonance frequency of your number 1 coil to the number 2 coil to put it in perfect resonance. So when Gerald had those 2 transistors connected and he said one side's hot, one side stays cold, now we all understand that you're getting most of your heat in one of them and the other one stays cold, and now it's pulling the reverse on the oscillation in the Tesla coil with the ZVS. But it does the same thing in his modified Joule Thief. So just an interesting fun fact for everybody. But just so you know, I do find the redneck method for everything because I blow so many things up. Sometimes you just need it. Alligator clips, man, they're just so frustrating because they keep falling off. That's my whole thing with them. They never stay on there when you want them to. Any little movement and it's like, boink, it fell off. It's like, are you kidding me? Yeah, Nathan's a California redneck. That's that. Okay. So I don't think Gerald's coming anytime soon. I don't know what's going on there, so we'll find out eventually. Let's, while we have a chance real quick, I just want to say thank you as well, guys. I'm going to pull up his channel. He was at, let me see, last week, before we started doing everything, he was at 837 subscribers. He is now at 915 subscribers. So that's you guys out there in the chat, you guys making it happen out there. I really do appreciate that you guys went on and subscribed to him and took care of him there. He's almost to that 1,000 mark. He's got another 85 to go, and he's there. So thank you guys for that. I really do appreciate it. So, okay.
That's awesome. No,
Yeah.
that's cool. We were trying to get him over that threshold.
Yeah, he's almost there, man. As soon as I can show him how to, and show you how to take this the StreamYard and make all your shorts and make them quick and add in all the what do they call it? Closed captioning to it. It makes it really fast. You can knock them all out in no time. Okay. So let's just talk a little sacred geometry since that's what we named everything. Wanted to show this to you guys. How do I want to say this? Let me find the right one. Sorry, it'll just take me a minute to find it. Well, I don't think we need the churros on there. Basically, what I wanted to show you guys here, and it has to do with the frequencies and stuff in these patterns. So when you create the correct geometry when you do your wiring, say it's a triangle, it's a square, whatever the shape may be, you're going to get a resonance pattern. You're also going to get a pattern that comes in with your octaves and stuff. And also you're going to get resonance in there. That's another pattern. Obviously, you see other things here that have patterns. Basically, what we're saying is this coil is going to create everything in it when you're done. And that's kind of what we're out to prove. So when you talk about sacred geometry, is there more here? And there always is. And that's kind of what we're looking at. We're creating patterns and patterns and patterns, and how they work in different dimensions is how you got to understand them. Now, when you see a mandala, it's basically all of them put into one. So you kind of get lost in what the picture is, right? But they do it for a reason. So you have to have all of these things to make it work. And it's pretty simple. You take a coil. As soon as you run it, you got an energy pattern. As soon as you get it running, you're also going to get a resonance. Once you get a resonance in there, you're also going to get your octaves in there. Once you have your octaves in there, you have the Russell scale. Overlapping the Russell scale is the DNA. It all matches inside here. The other ones are going to talk about your actual fields that are going on in there. One's a vortex field on the bottom, one's on the top, and then you actually have a toroid field as well. So that's kind of the understanding of some of this geometry. Hopefully you guys understood that from the last time when we talked about it, because it's really going to start to come into play. And I guess the best way to say it when you look at some of this stuff is when you start bringing in different scales of everything. Everybody's seen this. 432, right? Seems to be the common thing. Now, we look at the shapes in there. It makes a distinct shape when you do the wiring pattern. But then we see that it makes a frequency shape. We see that right now we're in different octaves right there. But it all comes back to the power of the 9 right there. It's an extremely important thing when you put all this together. I am currently working on a video to put everything together for you guys so that it's very simple to understand. But that's the next step here. Now that, Gerald's presented his coil the best that we can understand it as right now, this is where we're at. We got the patterns, or Gerald does, I should say, and I have some of them. Then we also have what we know what they're doing. We have the circuits to run them, so we have a proven theory. Now, the only thing we need to do is go around and put it to a physics theory. Then we're set. This thing is done. All the proofs out there already on Gerald's channel. If you watch his channel, you already know it's there. So next thing is Ben's got to get a coil. I got to get a coil so we can match the same thing. One thing I'd love, if Gerald, if you're listening out there, is all the circuits, because everybody's asked me for these circuits. Everybody wants them. I want them. So just diagram after diagram after diagram. Tell us all the parts where they go, and I will present every single one of them. And I'll just show exactly how they work. And then that way we're all set to go. And they can put them in their own coil system and see how they work for each one. Obviously, each one's going to work a little different. We all understand that up front. But it's a starting point for everybody. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that. So that'd be kind of really awesome. I was kind of hoping Gerald would have popped in today, man, because I really want to make sure he's all right. So, like I said, I sent him an email, and I haven't heard anything back yet. So, anyway, yeah, different patterns. Let me see if I can't find a good pattern for you guys to understand this by, because it's only a certain way that this thing works, and everything has to be in this individually correct. So, how you doing on your circuit there, Ben?
I'm doing good. I'm almost done, actually.
Good. Man, I got to do a better job organizing this stuff. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to have to organize it better. I can't tell what's what right now. So if you guys ever looked into Mod 9, Ian, I don't know if you have this chart, but it tells you the coil windings right here. And it also tells you the math right here for the Mod 9. So see if we can't pull this up where you guys can see it a little better. Yeah, you should be able to see that. For every single shape that you create, there's a math formula that goes with it. And there you go for the Mod 9. So, yeah, it's a lot of information to put into a video form, man. Can you share the sacred geometry video I sent you earlier in the chat? I haven't pulled it up to check for music or anything. And if there's music in it, I won't be able to play it. So I had that with another one that I wanted to show with sacred geometry of 432, and I had a bunch of music in it. So it was basically useless because they'll knock you for it and remove it. Let me see. Plasmoid, Evo. Share it in the chat. You know what? I'll pull the sacred geometry video for you guys because you know what? It's one that you want to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Well, never can find everything the first time. There it is. There you go, guys, right there. The sacred geometry video for you. Like I said, it just has music in it, so I can't put it up for you guys and watch it with you. Or I would love to, but I can't. So, video was fire. Whoever made that, yeah. There's a lot of them good out there, man. A lot of them good. Yeah, you know, once you understand how to wind something on these coils, they're going to be fairly easy. That's my whole thought pattern behind it. And, you know, oh, I wish I could say more. But, let's see. Quantum mechanical thing. Well, it could be. I'm not going to rule anything out, guys, of what's going on here. I'm just going to tell you how it works. That's my side of it. My side is put out the mechanical things and how parts work and what effects you get for them. And then physicists come along and they define everything and they work on it. You know, generally I go through and reverse engineer things when I do work, but that's just what I like to do, man. I like to take projects, break them down, find out how they work, and things like that. So, by the way, that whole thing that's going on with that coil and the wire down it and everything like that, for those of you who have watched my gravity flyer videos, I hope it starts to tell you something about it. That we're pulling energy in there, resonance in there, the resonance matching the resonance inside the machine. When you pull resonance in there, it becomes a beat frequency. The beat frequency turns into the oscillation of everything. And then it pretty much all matches. So you don't have to do anything. It's self-correcting. That's really cool, man. So When I start showing you the capacitor of the Earth and 2 Tesla coils lighting up from 2 different distances with the only thing being the same as they have the rod in the ground, you're going to really start to understand something here about energy and how it's working and what it's actually like to be on that plane, when you have the dielectric pushing down on you and forcing you down to the ground. So it's a pretty interesting concept when you start to think about it. And a lot of this only makes sense if you do some kind of project like this, and then you could start figuring it out exactly how everything works and ties in together. That's how I understand it so well. I've done a lot of these experiments because I have seen something like Gerald's coil would trying to tell you, hey, this is what's going on with it. This is what you would experience. And then you see if he's got the same thing or a little bit different. And usually it matches up pretty well. So it's really, really interesting. So yeah, it couldn't be without ether. Well, that's kind of what we're saying, though. We're taking ether and we're creating a new miniaturized ether in this coil. In order to break the ether that we're in and to break free from gravity, you have to do that. That's one of the things that's mandatory. So everybody will understand that. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that go on this, guys. It's not just one thing, one effect. And materials are very important. All right, looks like people have a whole other thing going on here. Comments of something else. Okay. All right, Ben, you got the thing about put together now?
90% there, Nathan. 90% there.
Still working on it. All right. So we'll just go back to the Wayback Machine here while we're waiting and show you guys something cool. So I did the plasma channel. Let me see if I could pull this up. I built an ion thruster. Yeah, that one's not it. Okay. Pull the next one. To the top of the thruster at night. You see all those little lights, or like, I don't know what to call them. Everywhere that you see them is where my razor blade went over the magnet wire to make it bare. So you can see just the total amount of ions that are pulling from there only. The rest of the magnet wire doesn't do anything. It's just this little bunch, okay? So if I probably add more, okay, I can get a little bit more, but it doesn't add in the amount that it comes out, right? So we're getting what? Like 2.3 ms out of a regular thruster. But by adding a second wire, and you can see it in there right there, so it's 2 right there, and then it goes down to 1 bar in the middle. It did add volume to the total amount of air coming out. So we added more air coming out, okay, which will eventually give us more thrust. But, okay, we didn't change the amount coming out. So I hope you understand that. Just give you a better look. Make a really nice light show if you're watching it. You can see just a total cloud there now. It used to be real thin. I didn't show it the other one at night, but anyway, comes over real nice. Just thought it'd be cool to show you that. It's a really, really neat thing to see at night. Anyway, Yeah, just in case anybody ever builds one of these, the spots you see that are lit up right there, you have to take a razor blade to the wire or the magnet wire and make a breakout point. Any sharp point that you create with the razor blade will allow it to break out. That's why you do it. So the rest of the magnet wire will stay coated and won't break out at all. But the breakout points will what allows everything to happen. And this is 2.4 meters per second, the amount that comes flowing through this. Now, when I say thicker, it just means that there's more air there, but there's not a massive push of air there. So it's still the same speed. There's just a higher volume of air. So, yeah, it's ozone that comes out of there. And for thrust, these things are junk. Let me just tell you that right now. Absolute junk. So they don't put out enough to, propel you anywhere. I know a little bit of wind can propel a sailboat and stuff like that, but I don't know, guys. It's not anything to do with anti-gravity or anything like that. There's just not enough there. And it comes down to knowing how to do a lifter the right way, and this isn't it. Ion wind is horrible. So, but it looks cool. You know what I mean? It has a nice look to it. It didn't take that long. By the way, if you ever want these STL files, they're on Thingiverse. I put them on there for you guys. You guys could build your own. Nice little weekend project to take two flybacks in series, connect them together, and it thins out the voltage enough in order to do this. When you start to hear the hissing sound, then you're right there. That's when you're going to start to see this. You can only see it with the lights off. You cannot see it with the lights on. So if you have the lights on, when you put it down and you're starting to move the distance, get to that hissing sound, and simply turn the lights off, and you get this beautiful glow coming out of it. Ben.
So I got it all set up. Just giving my cell phone a couple more minutes to charge before I switch to that camera because I'm using it as a camera. So we're going to start. Yeah, so we'll give it like maybe 5 minutes to charge, and then we'll switch over and I'll start it up. Just fair warning, I am using a 1/4 watt resistor instead of the recommended 2-watt resistors, so it might not do anything. But if that resistor burns up, we might see something. Who knows?
At least you see it explode, huh?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right. But I mean, that would tell us too, because I have the oscilloscope hooked up as well, so it should tell us, if there's a lot of energy coming out, regardless if the neon flashes. I'm hoping it does, though. That would be really cool.
Yeah, Sean says, "Yeah, that's some good craftsmanship when it blows up."
Nice.
Oh,
we have fun
what
on
though?
This channel.
You ever take one of those capacitors, Ben, and just hook AC to it?
What, and pop it?
Yeah.
I haven't popped it that way, not intentionally. I have popped a couple. No, there was this one day I was on live stream talking to you or somebody else, and I was testing, and I increased the power supply just a little bit too much, and it popped, and I went, woo! It scared me a little bit, but I was like, whoa, we're popping capacitors now, baby.
Yeah.
Some people pop the champagne.
Yeah. I did it on purpose, man. I just wanted to see what it do, and it boils the capacitor on the inside, so it shoots off like a rocket throughout the room.
Oh, yeah, there was a video. I don't know if you were the one who showed me it, but I was watching this video where somebody was just popping huge capacitors in like this encasement. It's like, and this is this is a 2000 volt capacitor here. We're gonna pop this in a bit.
Oh man, that's so great. You know what? We got to do it once in a while, though. This stuff drives you nuts, man. You got to kind of get revenge on some of these parts.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, this potentiometer has been giving me trouble all day. You got it coming. We're going to fry you, and you're going to find out.
That's right. You're not going back in the box, buddy. You're done. I have a lot of those days, man. I swear Amazon is at my house every single day, man. What did I blow up today? I was telling my wife I know all the names of all the delivery people, the FedEx guy, you know what I mean? The Amazon guy, everybody. They all come over every day.
I bet this guy's working on something crazy. You have
Yeah.
no idea, buddy. You have no idea.
Yeah. Let me light up my garage for you. Oh,
You go over your house and it's like Doc Brown.
well, I used to show my kids, I'd go, come in here and take a look at this high voltage I did, right? And when you got a 13-inch, arc coming out of your Tesla coil, they're like, Dad, we're not coming in here anymore. We're done, dude. I go, but it's just voltage. No.
It's like, I've been trying to get my hair to stay straight and down for like the past hour.
You got to tell them, hey, I'm old. I don't got a lot of hair that stands up. That's a good thing.
Oh man, I'm checking the cell phone. Probably give it another couple of minutes.
Yeah, there was so much ozone in my garage earlier today. Like, quite literally, I didn't notice it because I was in here with it. I walked outside, came back in, and it hit me like a wall. It was like, wow, dude, you really need to open this thing up. So I had to clear out my garage 4 times today, just open the big door and let it all, go out. It must have sterilized my entire garage, man. There was so much of it in here.
Yeah, that's I'm assuming from testing with the Roden coil, right?
Well, not from the Roden coil, my Tesla coil, man. You saw that little tornado. It throws it off like crazy.
Do you have a detector, or you just smelt it when you came back in?
No detector, man. I just have the garage door button right next to me. So as soon as I smell anything, it goes on, opens up.
I need to get a detector because one of the reasons why a detector is really useful is because when you're doing experiments in, like, say, your garage or your apartment or whatever, and if it's outputting ozone, sometimes you get accustomed to the smell. Like you said, you don't notice it until you go away and then you come back. It's kind of like a phantom smell. So that's why I need to get a detector. But you're in a garage, you could just open the garage. So that's the ideal situation, honestly. If you're testing coils, you want the ability to be able to ventilate that area real quickly. So
yes, I should just get a fan and put it in here and blow it to the outside.
when you get the Roden coil working, you can hook the fan up and just have it run on a battery and not even attach to the grid, just have it running. I have to worry about it.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm going to do a lot of experiments with it, so I'll have to keep it separate. But, if you put one of those fans in the garage, how in the world are you going to sit there and not fart in that thing a couple times to make sure that it works right? You know what I mean? Does it clear it out? Do you get the smell outside? And then where do you place it outside? Do you place it by the front door or by your door so nobody comes by there? That would be my thing. Who am I gassing outside when I blow it out? Oh. Maybe we'll wait till the delivery guy comes and we'll test it out, huh?
Right. There was a speaking of farts and and fans, there is a funny video I wanted to load up real quick that is relevant to farts and fans.
As long as it doesn't get us in trouble with music.
No, there's no music. He visited his boss. He was off work. Listen.
That's so great. You better get left.
You hear him in the background yelling.
Oh, that's the best. Oh, man. Oh, that's like a good joke.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I find these funny videos sometimes. That one cracked me up.
Oh, oh man, that's so great. You should show them that. You have that hockey video?
Hockey. Oh yeah, the hockey video. Let me find that. That's
Oh
hilarious.
man. Oh man. This guy draws hockey formations just like Gerald draws his oh what are they? Oh, I can't even think today. The way he draws his diagrams, man. So funny. What's my theory in crop circles? I think that somebody out there is either messing with them or they have a whole lot of information and we just don't know which ones are doing it, but I like them. All right, Ben.
Hogy az emberünket ugye két játékos követi. Ugye látszik ez abból, hogy folyamatosan mennek fölfelé, egy ellenfel van, és próbálja ugye visszapasszolni. Ugye látszik az egyértelműen, hogy ők nagyon jó háromszöget zárnak így be, ugye?
So this is some kind of sports announcer going over a replay or something.
Oh.
Oh, it gets so much better. Like I don't know if his co-workers know if he's doing it intentionally or if he's just completely oblivious. Like it's some kind of Freudian slip.
It draws the hair on the balls. Oh my man. That's so amazing.
All right, we're at 12%. I'm going to get ready to get this camera set up and we're going to check this out. So give me 5 minutes and we'll get set up for the first modified Jewel Thief test.
Oh yeah, that hockey one gets me, man. Looks like Gerald Circuits, man, every time he draws them. Oh.
I like how you put the censorship blur over it. It made it so much funnier.
Oh, I thought I was gonna get in so much trouble if I didn't. Oh.
You never know, but it actually made it funnier though.
Oh man. Yeah, well, we're having a little fun, guys. Oh. All right. Well, let's play this one time, guys, for you while we're waiting for Ben. All right, we haven't seen one of these in a while, so let's go ahead and take a look if I can get it to there. Attention crew, this is your captain speaking. Can I please have everybody assemble at the view screen? Admiral Jack would like to address everybody at once. Admiral Jack, would you like to address everybody?
All these wannabe schmucks, they have a keyboard and they can get on the internet, so that suddenly they're experts.
Did he just call us all schmucks?
Schmuck.
Schmuck.
You're not a schmuck.
I was microdosing mushrooms that day. Not today, but that day I was.
Admiral Jack, we tried to get our transporters fixed. We reached out to the physics community for help. What do you think about it?
I think they're idiots. I think that when it comes to physics, okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And anybody who pays any attention to them, gives them any credibility, is stupider than they are. That's what I think.
Man, those people in physics sure didn't rub Jack the right way.
Given the chance, Jack will rub your grandma in the right way. Don't you worry about that.
You'll rub your grandma the right way.
Oh yeah, I agree. I
Much
totally
like
agree.
that.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, okay?
Admiral Jack, maybe you can help us out with another thing. Joe tried to cook his hot dogs in the warp drive, and he screwed up something with the mass.
And he's made some very elementary mistakes. He violates Einstein's equation equals mc squared. He doesn't know the difference between the mass and the gravitational field, that the weight of an object is W equals mg.
You all heard the Admiral. Let's get this toroid out and let's get everything fixed.
Well, just an example, the inside of the toroid, that's about 3-inch diameter, 3.5-inch diameter.
Was I right to say it's about 6 inches in diameter altogether?
Yeah, maybe a touch bigger. Yeah.
It's an awfully big hole, Mike.
Don't go there.
It's Canadian. There's 3 holes.
All right, so you're gonna hook it up, and then we're gonna throw hot dogs through it like a carnival would.
Oh my God, I'm choking here.
This is what happens when you have me on. Don't we already know this?
Yeah.
At least Gerald ain't drawing the circuit for it.
Oh my God, we sound like a bunch of schmucks. Schmuck.
You're not a schmuck.
Don't tell me about what other schmucks say. Only I'm the big schmuck here, okay?
Oh my. Oh, that was so good, man. Every time he turns around, everybody's a schmuck. Oh. Oh, God, man. That's so great. All right, Ben. You about ready or No, I think he's still getting ready.
Oh no, I'm ready. I'm just switching the camera over now.
Oh man. Sorry, that just makes me smile every time because always calling us all schmucks, so we gotta get him a little bit. He'd probably be happy that he was an admiral. All right. I don't know what happened there, man. Ben turned into a
Yeah, sometimes XSplit might need to restart. Give me 1 second. It's not. It should just snap on, but I might need to restart it. Let's see. All right, let's restart XSplit.
All right, Ben. While you're messing with that, we'll just have a little fun again. Tell me when you're ready. Captain speaking. Please report to main engineering. We're having a problem with the circuits in our main deflector dish ever since we had the remodel.
But again, not every coil works with every circuit, like you said, right?
Yeah.
You have to play with different circuits in your coils to get the system properly running.
Okay, Gerald, why don't you just step up to the whiteboard here and show us exactly how this circuit's supposed to work.
So, power source, battery, the positive goes to the collector, the negative goes to the coil, right? Signal generator, positive goes to the base, negative goes to the emitter. Now that I used for a regular pulse, but I drew it wrong because I was drawing. I know what I did wrong here.
Yeah, Gerald, this circuit doesn't look right at all.
I apologize, everybody. What I drew here was the circuit with a horizontal deflecting transistor, and I will just change it really quick. Okay, so yes, it's like this, like this. Let me fix that.
You're still thinking about that circuit, aren't you?
No, when I drew it.
Oh,
right?
did you do it again?
Not really, but kind of.
Gerald, I'm so glad you got that circuit fixed. Man, the additions that you made to the front deflector dish really look nice.
Oh, it's horrible. I'm a horrible person. I apologize, everybody.
Oh, man. Oh, it's so good. How we doing, Ben?
Oh, I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay. Don't let Gerald draw circuits. All right, Ben, it's all you, man. Go ahead and pull it up. I don't have your other camera up here right now. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going back and forth between my lab and workstation. So, all right. So, what we're going to be doing is putting just what Michael did, 12 volts into the system and seeing what happens. I got the oscilloscope hooked up. Everything's ready to go.
Okay.
Oh my God! Did you see it? It fucking lit up! Holy shit!
Dude, what was that?
The neon! It flashed before it died! Holy crap! Oh my God, it works! Nathan, it works!
Oh, okay.
Works! Holy shit! Oh my God! I'm gonna get kicked out of my apartment.
Dude, are you in your pajamas?
Yeah? Holy crap! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my friggin' God! What the F? You got a shot of my foot right there.
Yeah.
I hope we can rewind it and actually see the flash because the bulb flashed. Holy crap.
Yeah, I can't rewind it, Ben. Did you record it?
So we can analyze this. We can analyze this as we go when we end the stream. But I can actually let me load it up. Hold on. Let me alt tab out. I can alt tab out and load up the stream and see if it picked it up.
Dude, I was all scared. I thought some girl was screaming at me. I'm like, what? What is that? That's something to play on.
Dude, Nathan, I've been trying to get this to work for so long. Oh my God. This is huge for me right now. I'm gonna cry. This is so cool.
Joe says you didn't even charge for the foot shots.
Dude, we got a neon bulb to flash on 12 volts of power and 0.60 amps or 0.060 amps. Oh my God. What the? I'm gonna load up the stream. I hope it caught the flash on the camera. I really do. Let me see what happened. This is extraordinary. Whether it caught it or not, I know it's possible now. Oh my God. That is so cool.
You think you burned it out, or you think it's still good?
No. So what probably happened is I either burnt out the potentiometer or the resistor. Again, that resistor is only meant for a 1/4 watt, and Michael recommended 2 watts for the 1K ohm resistor. And the potentiometer does have a tendency to burn out, even if it is carbon based and 1 mega ohms. Sometimes, at least that's what Michael said. His burned out initially, but he caught the frequency that he was at right before it did, so he was able to put the resistor on. I have an extra one in case it fried out. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, I didn't get to catch the frequency on the oscilloscope. But you see that huge spike. That, oh my God! Okay, so I'm testing this Joule Thief, and sometimes I'm getting power out of these circuits and stuff, but it's getting enormous amount of loss, right? And the Joule Thief didn't produce any kind of effect until now. And now, like, it's like the neon flashed, and then the oscilloscope lit up like a Christmas tree. And I don't know if it's because it's a cheap one and it was just a latency issue, but even after I turned everything off, holy crap.
Man.
Oh my God.
Ben, you sure got excited when you got flashed, man. Oh man, I didn't know what was going on. You were just screaming like crazy. I didn't know to look at the video.
I woke up his neighbor. Probably woke up my neighbor. You don't understand. There's no way that a conventional system would light that neon bulb. And I've been trying to get this damn neon bulb to light this whole friggin' time working with these coils, and not once. And now we get it on camera. I'm just trying to make sure. I'm scrubbing the video real quick. So I want to see if we actually can see it.
Okay. Yeah, let us know, man. I want to see it too. Yeah, Ben just had a religious experience, I'd say. Yeah, Sean, I was kind of freaked out myself.
So, okay, so my shoulder is slightly blocking the bulb, but you can still see the flash from the bulb reflected onto the table. If that makes any sense.
I just see. I don't see it.
No. Let me load it up real quick. So, this is
Ben
really
has
cool.
seen the light. Yep.
Yeah, this is really neat. Okay, so check this out. So as you can see, my shoulder is kind of slightly blocking it, but pay attention to the table on where my shoulder is, the black part and the circuit. You can see it'll flash. Let me rewind it.
Okay, give me 1 second, Ben. You need to put this on solo layout real quick.
Yeah. Let me adjust this because I'm going to actually adjust the speed so it's really slow. Because you can clearly see it. If I can capture on the right frame, you'll be able to see it.
Okay.
Oh. Did you see it?
No.
Here, pay attention to the bottom right here where my shoulder is.
Okay. Oh, I just saw a little blip. Hold on.
That's what it was. Here, pay attention to that same area. Right now. See it?
Oh, just saw it. Is that your elbow, Ben? Not your shoulder, right?
Yeah. Sorry, not my shoulder, my elbow. I'm a little excited right now, so forgive me. But yeah, it's my elbow. And right below my elbow, you'll see a little tiny flash of the neon before it went out. Right there. No.
Oh, yeah, just saw it. Okay.
Yeah, it happens just for a split second. That is really cool right there. I was so afraid that we wouldn't get that on video. I'll go through it and I'll get that exact screenshot. So, but for anybody who can't really make it out too well. It's a little tiny flash. You'll see it right below my elbow. That is so cool. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, everybody. Man, you all contributed to helping me do this right here. So this is very important for me, and I feel really blessed right now that you guys guided me through this, especially you, Nathan. You've been a real big mentor to me.
Oh, right on. Thank you. Hey, Ben, do you have the parts to do it again, or is everything kind of burnt out?
I think I do have the parts to do it again. I think I do. You want me to try to see what burnt out and
try to set it up real quick. I'll throw on another Star Trek episode while we're waiting for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Give you a little time.
Okay. Nice. Sounds good. We're going into overtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, have a little more fun, huh? All right. Everybody likes the Star Trek, huh?
I love them. I can't wait for the next episode.
Oh, man.
Good material to work with here.
This thing here is like, this is like my favorite episode, guys. So hold on. This is your captain speaking. Joe, can you please report to the transport? Go back to the planet where you found your strange rock. Bernie's going to meet us down there. Mike, transport us down.
You have three holes. One is ground at the bottom, and the two that are at the top are the power. Are they the two holes? Are they the same size, or is one bigger? Put one prong in the ground and the other prong in the smaller hole. That's your hotline.
Is he daydreaming again? Hey, Mike, transport us down to the. This is your captain. Hey, Mike, transport. Is he daydreaming again? Hey, Mike, transport us down to the surface, please. Okay, Joe, where exactly did you find this strange rock?
And I could sense it. So, I'm very attuned to it. I could sense it as soon as I start fumbling around with it. I'm like, up there it is,
Well, let's keep moving down the river to the cave where Bernie is. Oh, man, look at all these magic mushrooms.
All right.
Joe, have you ever eaten any of these things?
Psychologically, having high amounts of that crap around wasn't the best for me. It would, always kind of grab me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, all right, that, and this kind of did that, and it was very, very intense, and it wasn't bad.
Well, after careful consideration, I say we eat some of this stuff and see what happens.
Wow, instant brain fart there.
Are we still in the cave? Why is everything moving? What's going on, guys?
Direct departure. The 90% of the brainwashed boast senior epic legends and pillars.
What the hell did he just say? Oh my God, I'm tripping balls, man.
I'm deep into meditation, and some different spiritual aspects and stuff like that of metaphysics. And I could tell you, I mean, these things they do have psychological effect, as far as that stuff goes. And
my lips aren't moving, but I'm still talking. Must be an inner monologue. Awesome. We want to turn it on. We want those effects. We want our mind to work the machine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we can figure out how exactly to do it.
Spinning the rotation aspect, that is now one dynamic of open system adding to it.
So it's like, oh, well, I mean, what's the difference? It's like, because things don't do this.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why. You see, like, yeah, it's subtle. You're running your finger across something and you're feeling it starting to skip on the surface, but it's smooth. You know, it's like things don't do this, and this does this. And yes, it's subtle, but it's there. You know, but then there's the more extreme examples. You know, like the thing. You know, taking a lift off. You know, and it's like it just slipped out of your hand.
Oh my God. I can hear Joe in my head and Bernie in my head, but their lips aren't moving.
And then it's like, so you add that spinning to other aspects, like bringing in radiant energy from the environment, like if it's endothermic cooling or from a plasma, right? All these other aspects that you start combining those dynamics of extra energy in, that
like a
you're
sack
able
of potatoes
to get the
to the ground.
exponential gains
And I couldn't
in your
move.
systems.
You have 3 holes. You have 3 holes. You have 3 holes. You have 3 holes. You have 3 holes.
Oh my God. There's no more holes. There's no more holes. There's no more holes. Mike, beam us up.
Boss.
You're right, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm living right now. I'm barely breathing. Oh man, that is so good. That is so fun. Oh, how you doing, Ben?
We're all set up, and I actually tested it. It stayed lit up. I just had to adjust it a little bit. So it didn't fry out anything. So we're gonna show you this. This is really, really cool. This is really cool. I'm not gonna get any sleep tonight, Nathan. I'll be all up all night playing with this damn coil.
Well, good. You deserve it, man. Oh. Yeah, that mushroom episode was my favorite, man. Absolutely the funniest thing ever. Oh man. Oh. Ben, you getting set up? There you go. Okay. Yeah, you got a better view on it. Where's the light bulb at?
All right, so the light bulb is right here behind this wire a little bit. You can kind of see it. I'm going to actually detach the camera real quick to show you a close-up of the circuit. I don't know if you can see it now.
Oh, now I can see it.
Put a light? Yeah.
Right by the white wire.
Yes, right behind the white wire. So we're going to set that there. I'm going to try to stay out of the way of the camera, and you should be able to get a good view because it's bright. We're going to turn it on, and I just adjust it. At least that's what Oh! You see it going on and off? Ooh! Yep. But it's just too much for it. It's dying. Or maybe maybe the potentiometer needs to be adjusted. Ooh!
Yeah, it's driving your oscilloscope nuts too.
4.5 kilohertz. 4.5 kilohertz. Ooh, so it's a potentiometer needs to be adjusted, but look at this.
Nice.
And that's 0.04 amps, 12. Oh, sorry. So that's 12 volts, 0.04 amps. That was lighting that 90 volt neon.
Nice.
Now, if somebody in chat wants to calculate that amount of wattage coming out versus going in, that would be really interesting to see. So if not, I'll do that in a minute. So that's cool. So later tonight, since it didn't die out, I actually might hook up more stuff to this circuit and see how much we can actually get it powered. So it was at 4.5 kilohertz was its resonance range. Interesting.
Right on.
So yeah, this is very cool, Nathan. I'm really happy right now.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
kind of stuck for a long time. It was kind of disparaging. So right now I need to collect myself because phase 2 is officially begun, ladies and gentlemen. Phase 2 is officially begun. And I think now is a good time to inform everybody of what phase 3 is going to be. So phase 3 of testing this Roden coil is going to be developing practical transportation with it, with some kind of scooter or a go-kart. And the idea is to have it save as much energy as possible, whether it's with maybe a Bedini SG, so you're charging a battery while you're using another battery, and you kind of have like double the potential there along with the efficiency of the coil. And then on top of that, you can use the magnetic field to spin another generator, to just add, or maybe to use as a rotary for the actual spinning of the tires, Imagine maybe a scooter also with an attachment side cart with another Roden coil that acts as a pickup coil that slides over the primary coil of the scooter, right? Then you can begin to see how you can kind of use the inductance of the coils, to have different attachments. I don't know. Something that I was thinking about would be a cool project for the future. This is not short term, but we want to be able to do something practical with this coil, right? So I think that would be a fun project. So that's going to be phase 3. That's not going to be for a while, but it's going to be so cool. Oh my God.
Right on, Ben. Right on. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. Finally working out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm switching over my camera.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's have a little more fun since Ben's got to celebrate here. So let's celebrate with a little more Star Trek, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, yeah. What's up? Planet Dreamscape. Greetings from the starship Fringe think tank.
Welcome to the Plant Dreamscape.
It's an honor to meet you, Gold Lady. We'll be transporting down to the surface in no time.
I must warn you, Captain. Any random thought during transport may have unexpected consequences.
Gerald, gather the away team and meet me in the transporter room. Guys, try to be on your best behavior. That Gold Lady seems like one of those uptight scientist types.
The elite of the most prestigious scientific communities.
Gerald, I don't think that Gold Lady's going to like that.
There you go. Well, when it comes to women, as me dear departed father used to say, you can't live with them, and marriage is illegal.
There was something I was supposed to remind you guys about. Something about random thoughts. Oh well, we'll just figure it out when we get there. All right, Ian, 5 to transport.
Nathan. Oh my God.
This didn't work out for us at all. Oh man, have you guys seen Bernie?
All right.
It's going to be so great.
Ben, where was Mike? Isn't he usually running the transporter?
Right. So now put one prong in the ground, the other prong in the smaller hole, not the bigger one.
Does it matter which one is which?
That's a tough question. It kind of does matter. But anyway.
Wait, so the red
of the 2 holes, other than the ground hole, of the 2 holes that you have there, one is smaller. That is the smaller hole is the power. The bigger hole is the return for that power.
The negative. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to use that.
I'm sorry, Ben, but we have to show the other one. It just wouldn't be complete without hearing Mike's holes.
We have to. It's a trilogy now.
Oh man, that's so hilarious. I have one more after that too, if you wanted to see it.
Yeah, let's do a marathon for sure.
Mike, this is the captain speaking. Have you and Ben been able to fix the transporter yet?
That's what I'm saying. I can explain to you very simply how to verify if that ground, the third prong at the bottom, the circle hole. I think it's 3 prongs, right? 3 holes. You're in Canada? I don't know.
No. It's 3 holes. Yeah, it should be.
So you have the ground. The third hole is the ground. So you could test that ground by. You have the 2 other holes. Are they the same size or is one bigger?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
You have 3 holes. One is ground at the bottom, and the 2 that are at the top are the power. Are they the 2 holes? Are they the same size, or is one bigger?
No. They're the same size.
Same size. So it's 2. You're in Canada?
No, I'm in Michigan.
Michigan. So it can't be the same size. One slit is a little shorter.
Are you sure? Let me see.
Look closely. You need more light in there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, Mike. Did you say you had the transporter fixed?
Put the voltmeter on AC 120 volt setting. Put 1 prong in the ground and the other prong in the smaller hole. That's your hot line. And if you get 120 volts, that ground is working good. If you don't, you get less than 120 volts, like 90 or 80, your ground is probably no good on that plug. That could cause a lot of issues for the circuit too, by the way.
Well, the problem is this only goes up to 10 amps and then it blows.
No, you don't need amps. You just need 120 volts is what it should read.
Okay. As long as it doesn't blow my fuse.
Put it on volts, not amps, volts. 120 AC volts.
This should be good to 250 volts. So we should be okay.
Hey, Gerald, come here and listen to this. I can't tell if they're fixing the transporter or not.
Right. So now put 1 prong in the ground, the other prong in the smaller hole, not the bigger one.
Does it matter which one is which?
That's a tough question. It kind of does matter. But anyway.
Wait, so the red
of the 2 holes, other than the ground hole, of the 2 holes that you have there, one is smaller. That is the smaller hole is the power. The bigger hole is the return for that power.
The negative. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to use that to.
All right. So real quick before I electrocute myself, Mike, which hole do I stick this in?
Don't stick the plug out. Just stick the prong.
If the hole is red, there's something wrong.
The probe has two prongs, 2 metal.
I'm sorry.
Put 1 prong in the ground and the other prong in the smaller of the 2 holes that are left.
But it doesn't matter which one is which.
No, it does. One of the probes, you have 2 probes from the voltmeter. One goes, no, it doesn't matter which one of the 2 goes in the ground. No, it doesn't.
Okay, so I can put the black one in the ground and then the red one in the small slot.
Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
I misunderstood you there.
No, it's okay. We're talking about putting things in holes.
Yeah, easy to get confused.
Mike prefers a certain one.
So yeah, if you don't see a 120 volts right away, just wiggle it around till you get a good connection. You should see either 120 volts or like less than that, like maybe 100 volts.
Easy.
Yeah, 120.
Okay, your ground is good. You just verified it. It's good ground.
Nice.
Now, just so you know, if it read less than 120, like around 100 or 90 or 80, that ground is no good.
Oh,
right. Okay. It was actually slightly above 120. So is that normal?
Yeah, you're good.
It's like 120.3.
The ground is good. You're good. Just make sure you're firmly connected to that third prong into your circuit.
Something tells me we're never getting this transporter fixed.
If you were to put 1 prong into ground and the other prong into the return, you wouldn't get anything because it's not source. You're not hitting source. You want to go from ground.
Oh my
from
God.
source to ground to get a read.
Oh.
No, that makes sense. If it's not properly grounded, you're going to be getting a loss.
You're right, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm living right now. I'm barely breathing.
I'm wiping tears over here. I'm telling you, that was the best.
Mike's best segment ever. I swear.
That was awesome.
Oh man, Ben, that was the best.
I crack up every time I see those.
We were laughing so hard in the background, like we had to stop our mics because we were laughing so hard when Mike was talking about all the holes.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have since found more holes, so stay tuned for more episodes.
Oh man. Oh, hold on. We got one last one, and I'm sorry it's gonna offend people, but it's hilarious.
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Oh man. Speaking, can I please have Ben, Gerald, and Victor meet me in holodeck 1? I'm all excited. Jeremiah from Planet Convoluted will be giving us a special presentation today.
That's interesting. No, that's very interesting.
Mike, can you please transport Jeremiah directly into holodeck 1?
Of the two holes, other than the ground hole, of the two holes that you have there, the one is smaller. That is the smaller hole is the power. The bigger hole is the return for that power.
Jeremiah, welcome to the Starship Fringe think tank.
The electron was made of 918 photons.
I think he said hello.
Hey, I know things I don't even know I know.
Jeremiah, do you know how the holodeck works?
Take 918 photons, and he gives out the wavelength and the basic energy density of those photons that equal the total mass energy density of the electron.
All day today, my mind's been blown, and I think it's just exploded. It's about to leak out my ear. So, amazing work.
All right, Jeremiah, go ahead and give your presentation when you're ready. The holodeck is all yours.
A high precision scale, and we measure them out to be 10.0000 grams each. So the two samples are identical in terms of their gravitational weight when they are not accelerating.
Hold on a minute. Was he just measuring shit?
But now we both drop them in a gravitational field. The isotope will rise up in an enclosed box compared to the non-isotope, which will fall at the same rate as the steel box. The reason for why is that the electric field has an effect on the localized region of space-time surrounding it because it is not balanced out by the correct amount of mass from the neutron. And so you end up with, in this case, what Brown calls an inertial isotope.
I can't believe I'm watching this. Now he's dropping shit in a box.
So there's been tests to show that there's purity violation and equilibrium violation using different elements that have different isotope ratios.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Because of the, I wiped it out, darn it. Because they're falling at like a different potential in the sense where they have different potential in time because they are different elements decaying at different time rates.
No, basically what you're saying is, yeah, if they're decaying and they have a dispersion or, you know, there's basically a damping factor.
Yeah, you could smell it at a certain threshold, but it could be putting out a low level without notice. I mean, I did start to smell something off of the green coil.
Oh my God, the holodeck is literally covered in shit. All right, Jeremiah, I think that's pretty much enough for this presentation.
Yeah, regardless, this idea that there's this damping factor.
I'm sorry, man. There's no dampening this. It smells like shit in here.
And you turn that gradient of energy into a dispersed field. Mm-hmm. You end up with two very different forces in terms of your field vectors.
Yeah, I can't breathe in here either. You have literally exploded the holodeck with crap.
So your gradient of energy has a trajectory. It's moving from one direction to the other.
Oh my God, he's just not stopping.
When it splits apart, that gradient that was pointing straight upwards.
Mike, emergency beam out. Oh, that's funny.
His Highness said iso poop. I thought that was hilarious.
We're all little poop guys going like this. That's hilarious. Oh, that's so bad. I apologize. I shouldn't do that. I tell you, nothing like good old clean fun or dirty fun or poo fun. Oh, what do you got, Ben? What do you think?
I've been thinking, Nathan, and I want to try to hook up a different coil, maybe the Fireball coil, and see if we get anything out of that. That's what I've been thinking. But I need to let my stuff charge a little bit, so I got to let my headphones charge, and I got to let my phone charge a little bit.
Well, we'll have plenty of time by Wednesday, Ben. If you got nothing going on that day, show up on Wednesday and show us all the updates on it.
Yeah, by Wednesday, I'll definitely have some interesting developments. I'm sure of it. We're going to try to hook up more of a load to this baby and see what happens, you know?
I got 10 other places I have to be right now, but I'm glad I stayed here. I'm telling you, man, look, we love doing scientific experiments, but we all have to be able to sit here and laugh at each other, okay? So I know some people take offense to it, but I'm sorry for that. We're just going to have to laugh all day. So, the hot dog through the coil test. That was hilarious, man.
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, man. I think that's about it, man. And I'll have to get myself together and do another Star Trek episode. I'll probably wait a little bit, and you know what I mean? We'll figure it out here in the next few weeks.
For sure. Yeah.
You know that segment of you screaming's going on there.
Oh yeah, I was hoping for it. I was hoping for it. Give you some good juicy dialogue for the next episode.
It's just so funny because it was like every time you come in there, it was like, okay, so the shit smells. It's got something bad. You go, yep, I can smell it. So, like the green one.
Yeah, there's a certain threshold. That was funny.
Or we're over there, and then Bernie's sitting there saying, "Oh man, what was it you were saying? Like grandma would rub you the right way." And you're like, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Oh.
So after we end the stream, I might do a stream on my channel just if I'm up in a little bit using Streamlabs. I might not. I haven't decided yet. So depending on how I'm feeling, I might, maybe stream some video games or something. Or maybe if I feel up to it, stream some more stuff with the coil. Who knows? But that will be in maybe an hour or two if it happens.
Yeah. By the way, if Jeremiah's out there, I'm sorry. I just have a little fun with you, man. I mean nothing by it. If you got something like that to get back at me, I go, by all means, you're welcome to it. Just having fun with you. Like I said, I mean nothing by it. So.
I keep telling everybody, I make fun of myself more than anybody. Like, yeah. I love easy targets, and I'm the easiest target. So.
Oh man, it's such a good time. All right, well, we didn't see Gerald tonight, man. I was hoping he'd show up so we could talk about his call some more, but that didn't happen. So.
Yeah, if you get a hold of him, definitely let me know if he's okay. Because I recommended to Joe that we need a system where we at least check in with each other on a daily basis, if nothing else. You know what I mean? Just to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, especially we're working on what he's doing and stuff like that. So
right.
Make sure his cat didn't pee on his router again, and we'll be all right. All right, guys. Wednesday, we have another show coming up, and we're going to do some circuits in there. We have Sean's going to present some stuff on the Tesla coil. It's also going to be talking the LCR meter. He's also going to be talking a little bit of the Roden coil and the experiment that I did earlier in the show. So all that's going to be cool. Ben's going to come back on. He's going to do some circuit work on his Roden coils. And then, are you exploding that anytime soon?
So we are planning on exploding this. I don't know when. Once I figure out the safest mechanism to do so, we will be exploding the Apple coil.
Oh, I can't wait for that, man. I love things that go boom. All right, guys. Have a great night. Ben, thanks for hanging out with me on this. And guys, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks Nathan. Thanks chat. It was really fun tonight. Appreciate it.